Just ahead on CTV News, Senator Chris Van Hollen is headed to El Salvador in a fight to bring Kilmar home.
I told Mr. Abrego Garcia's family I would do everything I could to bring him home, and I'm going to keep working it until he is brought home.
Plus, local leaders express concerns over recent attacks to Social Security. And
tragedy struck this quiet Bowie community. I'm Katera Jones. I'll have all those details coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for April 16th. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, a Maryland senator is taking action, flying to El Salvador to bring home a wrongfully deported father. Senator Chris Van Hollen departed this morning on a personal mission to secure the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland dad ICE deported last month. Abrego Garcia was detained near College Park and sent to one of El Salvador's most notorious prisons despite court orders protecting him from deportation.
The Supreme Court, by 9-0, has said that he was illegally taken out of the country and has ordered the Trump administration to facilitate his return home. So I am going to go to El Salvador. I hope to meet with senior officials in the government, and I hope to have a chance to see Mr. Abrego Garcia to report on his condition. But my overall purpose here is to send a signal that we are not going to stop fighting for his return until he is actually released. I may be the first senator or first member of Congress to go down to El Salvador, but people are going to keep on coming until he comes home.
After landing in the country, Van Hollen met with El Salvador Vice President Felix Ulloa. Federal courts have ordered the Trump administration to bring Abrego Garcia home, but so far that hasn't happened. Meanwhile, a Guatemalan man was arrested by ICE agents after being charged with the death of his brother. Here is that suspect, 32-year-old Rene Popchub, who investigators say pushed his brother to the ground during a fight in Capitol Heights last August. His brother, 45-year-old Cristanos Popchub, hit his head during a fall and died. According to ICE, the department issued a detainer for Popchub's custody, but that the Department of Corrections did not honor it and released him from custody last week. The acting Prince George's County Executive Tara Jackson denies the allegations, and in a statement she says ICE was contacted because Popchub had a prior conviction for involuntary manslaughter. Jackson says ICE agents left the corrections facility prior to Popchub's release. And elected officials, union leaders, and stakeholders gathered outside a Social Security Administration field office in Seabrook. Congressman Glenn Ivey and others drawing attention to the impacts of the Trump cuts on SSA. Thousands have been let go, and thousands more may be on the chopping block. In Ivey's 4th congressional district alone, there are more than 98,000 Social Security recipients, including 5,700 children and 10,000 disabled people. Deborah Williams is disabled and recently let go as part of the Trump administration cuts.
I had a 1 month of service, and I was terminated after 1 month, reinstated, and then terminated again on 4/10.
So people can't get the services they need if the staffing is inadequate. We know it's always been a challenge, or has been for some time. This is just making the problem worse. And the key point to remember, though, is that people have real needs. That, this isn't spending money on the side for a lot of folks. They need this for rent. They need it for food. They need it to pay their bills.
Homeland Security has subjected dozens of staffers, including FEMA officials, to lie detector tests to root out national security leaks. One FEMA official was placed on leave and escorted out after a test. Some accuse the administration of fostering a culture of fear amid rising tensions between FEMA and DHS. The tests come against the backdrop of growing tension between FEMA's workforce and the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the disaster relief agency. And it's a stunning shift in Republican politics. Talk of raising taxes on the wealthy, with major pieces of the 2017 Trump tax cuts set to expire. Senate Republicans are now debating whether to let the top rate jump from 37 to 39.6%. It's a sharp departure from the GOP party line, but it's gaining momentum as they court while working class voters and scramble to pay for defense and border security. Some lawmakers are open, others drawing a hard line. Trump's allies are split. MAGA lawmakers embrace the idea, while establishment voices warn it could stall growth. And time's running out. If Congress doesn't act, taxes automatically go up January 1st. Meanwhile, good news for drivers. Gas prices might be heading in the right direction just in time for summer. A new report from the Department of Energy says gas supplies will be solid and prices are expected to keep trending down even as more of us hit the road. The average price for regular gas this summer, around $3.24 a gallon in the Metro D.C. area, according to AAA. CTV News spoke with AAA about the trend.
This is a time of the year where we're typically seeing prices starting to climb. The weather's warmer. There's more demand for people to get out on the roadway, started getting in those warm weather and hot weather trips in the next couple of weeks. Spring break is upon a lot of people. So we tend to see gas prices start to rise this time period into May. But this year, because a lot of things that are happening in Washington, there's been a lot of economic uncertainty, and we've seen gas prices a little bit of a roller coaster ride.
So for now, no sticker shock at the gas station. Just keep an eye on the economy. And with 420 just around the corner, AAA has a reminder for anyone planning to light up: don't drive high. A new AAA survey found that more than half of cannabis users admitted to driving within an hour of getting high. And that's risky because experts say people often think they're good to drive when really they're not. One study showed even 90 minutes after smoking, many users still weren't driving safely, even though they felt ready. Bottom line, just like alcohol, the safest move is to just wait it out. Experts say it can take 3 to 4 hours or even longer if you've had edibles for the effects to wear off. An illegal legend has passed, and his legacy looms large across Maryland's judiciary. George L. Russell Jr., who broke barriers as the first black judge on Maryland's appellate court and first black city solicitor for Baltimore, died Saturday at 96. A relentless champion for diversity, Russell mentored generations of black lawyers. He also championed the construction of the Reginald F. Lewis Museum of Maryland African American History and Culture. And his legacy continues through his son, George L. Russell III, the Chief Judge of the U.S. District Court of Maryland. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come.
The tires from a rental car were stolen in this DoubleTree parking lot over the weekend as the renter watched helplessly. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll have those details coming up on CTV News.
Hi, I'm Monica McNutt, host, basketball analyst, and reporter at ESPN and MSG Networks covering the New York Knicks in New York.
Hi, I'm Janine Samuels. I'm an evening news anchor right at WTVR CBS 6, and I'm also the in-game host for the Washington Commanders.
My name is Samantha Akinduro, and I am a content producer at NBC4 in Washington, D.C.
And I gotta be honest, I don't know if those things or that little statue would have been available to me if not for the opportunity that Prince George's Community Television gave me.
My journalism career actually started at CTV News in Prince George's County.
I have been a part of CTV News, the CTV News family, for many, many years. Goes way back to my senior year in high school at Suitland High School.
The skills, the knowledge, and the teaching that I was able to absorb at CTV News was invaluable in me being able to eventually go from being a freelancer to a full-time news anchor.
As a Prince George's County native, that was an incredible training ground for me to cover the community that I grew up in and get valuable reps that would help power me to the next step of my career.
CTV is able to focus on those local stories, the ones that impact Prince George's County and Montgomery County. We're able to really dig deep into the community and the lives of everyone that watches CTV News.
CTV is really is home to me.
It truly breaks my heart to hear that it may have to close its doors.
This is a valuable resource, not just for the people that go through as journalists, but also a valuable resource for the community.
I am here to offer my support to continue funding and supporting Prince George's County Community Television, CTV News.
I cannot reiterate enough how powerful that space was to help a little black girl like me from Prince George's County to go on and pursue my dreams and achieve them, honestly. I really, really hope the decision to close those doors is reconsidered, because Prince George's Community Television is an absolute asset to the community and to the people that are able to come through those doors to hone their craft. Thank you.
One person is dead and 2 others have been displaced following a house fire in Bowie late last night. CTV's Katera Jones is outside the home with the latest.
The fire that ripped through this home last night ended in tragedy with 1 man dead. Now today, first responders are back here in this same community talking to homeowners and checking smoke alarms. Members of the Prince George's Fire Department went door to door speaking with residents about the deadly fire that occurred Tuesday night on the 11,000 block of Elon Drive in Bowie.
And their goal is to talk to the community about the tragic event that happened last night, as well as talk to residents about home escape plans, making sure they have one, assisting them in creating, as well as we're going to check all the smoke alarms that we can.
Firefighters were called to this home just after 9 p.m. on Tuesday. When they arrived, the second floor was engulfed in flames. Officials say only 2 people were able to escape the home.
Unfortunately, the 3rd adult male was unable to exit, and firefighters rescued that victim from the fire area and transported him in very critical condition to a local hospital, where a few hours later the patient had died.
CTV spoke to a neighbor who didn't want to be on camera. He says he called 911.
I know him since he was little, and you know, it's a very polite young man.
Fire officials say if you need a smoke alarm, you can call the Prince George's Fire Department and they will come out and install one for free. Katera Jones, CTV News.
All right, Katera, thanks so much. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Officials want to remind residents to never go back into a home that is engulfed in flames. And Prince George's police are warning of a new bank scam targeting county residents. Cases show residents are sent text messages from what appears to be from their bank, indicating potential fraud related to their account and to call a phone number. The suspects answer and provide information to the victims' recent transactions. Victims are then advised to withdraw and deposit their money into a real or crypto ATM and gift cards, which the suspect uses to steal their money. Police warn anyone who receives the messages not to call, and if you have been a victim, call 301-516-1464. Well, a county crime caught on video is going viral on social media following a tire theft on Sunday. CTV's Bryce Parker is in Largo with more.
So, Michaela, when you're going on vacation, you probably already have a lot of questions you're asking yourself, like when is check-in and check-out? Did I lock the door and turn the alarm on when I left the house? But one question that you probably did not ask yourself is, will the car that I rented have wheels on it by the time we head to the airport? Well, unfortunately, that question was answered for one Prince George's County visitor this past weekend when they stayed at this Largo DoubleTree Hotel. This now viral TikTok video captured the last tire being taken from this rented red Honda. The tire thief seen in the video reportedly targeted another vehicle in the parking lot right after and then fled the scene in a gray Nissan Sentra just before police arrived. The renters, guests at the Largo DoubleTree, said that they were eating breakfast at the hotel on Sunday morning when they noticed their tires being taken. The video, now with hundreds of thousands of views, has led to concerns over safety within the neighborhood. County Council Chair Edward Burrows stating that crimes like these represent the worst parts of our community. The hotel stating that they are actively working with law enforcement and reaffirming that guest safety is not an ongoing issue on the property. County Council Chair Edward Burrows says that crimes like these are actually down in Prince George's County, but even one is too many. We'll continue to keep you updated on this developing story as details continue to unfold. In Largo, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
All right, Bryce, thanks for that report. PGPD has yet to release details, suspect descriptions in that case. And a big honor for a local elementary school making a big impact on the environment, Berwyn Heights Elementary has just been named one of Maryland's nominees for the U.S. Department of Education's Green Ribbon Schools Award, a national recognition for schools leading the way in sustainability and wellness. The K-5 Title I school has been going green for nearly 20 years with programs like composting, pollinator gardens, and even raising fish for the Chesapeake Bay. And AARP, Amazon, Google, and Walmart team up to launch a first-of-its-kind fraud-fighting force. The National Elder Fraud Coordination Center is a joint public-private effort to help law enforcement track, connect, and take down criminal rings targeting seniors. The center will tap into private sector data to link small cases into national patterns, a strategy designed to dismantle large-scale scams. Now, the stakes are high. The Federal Trade Commission says older Americans lost over $61 billion to fraud last year alone.
Your step.
And still to come on CTV News, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Stay tuned for our Pet of the Week.
Hey, greetings everyone. I'm recording this video to let you know that I have heard about some big time budget slashing and maybe even canceling CTV. CTV gave me my start many years ago, and without it, I would never have gotten where I've gotten today. With that, I've produced many boxing shows that I started on CTV and ended up taking it to China at one point. At present, I'm now making documentaries. I've been very successful, and I owe a lot of it, if not all of it, to what CTV's opportunity has given me. So do what you can to try to help save CTV.
Might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. You may not even know you have it, but you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand. With early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back. A new investigation is raising some red flags about synthetic braiding hair. Consumer Reports tested 10 popular brands and found cancer-linked chemicals in every single one. Lead, arsenic, and even acetone showed up. 9 out of 10 samples had volatile organic compounds, which can be released when the hair is heated. Experts say those chemicals could pose health risks, especially for kids whose developing brains are more vulnerable. They're not saying you have to stop using braiding hair, just maybe wear it for shorter periods and give your scalp a break between styles. Well, a new hospital could break ground next year with key state funding. Adventist Healthcare's Fort Washington Hospital still needs half of the $150 million it's been seeking. The project would establish a new acute care facility and outpatient medical office building. Maryland's legislative session ended last week with a $5 million commitment, twice what it expected. And Adventist is now looking into loans and preparing to launch a philanthropic campaign to get the rest of the way. And the success of Liberty Sports Complex in Bowie is leading the charge of a larger $1.3 billion mixed-use development in South Lake. The development will feature 600,000 square feet of retail space, attracting national brands like Chase and McDonald's and local retailers like Lido Pizza. The development will also feature an array of housing options from condos to single-family homes. Now, with the sports complex set to expand with a new indoor athletic facility, South Lake is showing immense promise for the future of sports-driven tourism and retail. And it's time for our Pet of the Week. Meet Mason. He is a 3-year-old black Netherland dwarf mixed rabbit. He has been at the shelter since the 5th. Animal management says that Mason is ready to hop into his forever home.
Litter box trained. He's very friendly and has been handled by a lot of people. So he'd be a great fit for anybody that's looking for a pet that's not a dog or a cat.
And if you would like to adopt Mason or any of his hoppin' friends, call Animal Management at 301-780-7200. And don't move anywhere. Simon Buggs is here with our Wednesday sports page.
Hey everybody, coming up in sports, Terps offensive line coach Damian Wroblewski gives his thoughts on what he wants to see from his group in 2025. Be right back.
My name is Antonia DeBarros, and I'm a film and television editor, and I got my start as an intern at CTV. Growing up in Prince George's County, Hollywood seemed so out of reach for me. I wouldn't have believed in the possibility of this career before I started working at CTV. CTV has been and continues to be an invaluable resource for our community to gain entry into news, education, and entertainment programming. This year's county budget must include funding for CTV.
Completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop
normalization.
bullying.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
What's going on, CTV Sports family? Grab your popcorn and get excited because it's time for your Wednesday sports page. We begin with some news from the gridiron as the UMD football squad continues to prep for the upcoming season with their spring practices. And a group that's looking to become as polished and connected as possible is the trenches. The team's O-line will play a huge part in the success of whoever's behind center for the team in 2025. And offensive line coach Damian Wroblewski touched on what he wants to see from his group not only during spring ball, but throughout the season as well.
The expectation is that every player in our program is going to elevate their game, elevate their understanding, elevate their technique, elevate their attitude, elevate their investment into the program. Just like me as a coach, my expectation for me is that I'm going to elevate myself as a coach as I go through the spring. And so if we collectively have this growth mindset and we're focused on the day in and day out process, what's important now, what can we do right now, what are our immediate goals to get our long-term goals accomplished. If we can understand that and really focus on that, I think we're going to have a good shot of being where we want to be towards the end of the season.
Spring ball will culminate with the team's annual red versus white game on Saturday, April 26th. Sticking with Terps sports news, congratulations to lacrosse players Logan McNaney and Will Schaller for both earning Big Ten Weekly Awards for their performances in the team's 13-8 victory against Ohio State last week. McNaney, who plays goalkeeper for the team, was named Big Ten Specialist of the Week after making 10 saves and allowing 8 goals in the matchup. And with that performance, he broke the program's all-time career saves record and is now in first place with 715 saves under his belt. And Schaller, who plays defenseman, earned Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, which is the 3rd time he's done so this season. The 8 goals Ohio scored in the game was the lowest scoring game the Buckeyes had in Big Ten play. And the Maryland native played a big part in that, leading the team with 3 caused turnovers as well as a ground ball. The team will return to action on Friday when they take on Johns Hopkins at 8 o'clock. Moving on to the world of softball, the Lady Terps snapped their losing streak yesterday after taking down Maryland Eastern Shore 19-0. The next opponent will be Delaware on April 23rd. And wrapping up sports, the Baltimore Orioles will host the Cleveland Guardians tonight. First pitch is at 6:35. And the Washington Nationals will attempt to go up 2-1 in their series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The game begins at 6:40. And that is your Wednesday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
All right, Simon, thanks. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be clear out. Tomorrow it's going to be sunny with a high of 64. Friday will be mostly sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 64. Saturday is going to be mostly cloudy when we reach a high of 83. And for our community calendar, tomorrow the Department of Parks and Recreation is hosting its spring job fair. Explore opportunities in aquatics and lifeguarding, education, youth development, and more. The fair takes place from noon to 5 p.m. at the Prince George's Equestrian Center and Showplace Arena. For more information, contact 301-952-7900. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.
Hello, I'm Sandra F. Peaches, Executive Director of Prince George's Community Television. I'm reaching out today with an urgent message. CTV needs your help. The county's current proposed budget is about to silence your voice. The proposed budget presented to the County Council calls for the closing of PGCTV in the upcoming fiscal year. For more than 40 years, Prince George's Community Television has been your independent voice in the community, providing essential news related to county events, the people, and services. Most importantly, our volunteer public access producers create hundreds of hours of programming each year. The programming that tells the stories of people in Prince George's County. We connect residents to critical information, provide a voice for underrepresented communities, and help to foster a deeper sense of connection within the diverse communities residing in our county and state. We're known as a hub for career development, having provided invaluable internships and volunteer opportunities for hundreds of young people, helping them build futures in broadcasting and film. Our success stories are both in front of and behind the lens at every local network in the DMV and countless others throughout the United States. If we lose Prince George's Community Television, we not only lose a place for hands-on learning, but also the voice and connection that helps our community be informed and united. This is your station. Do not let your voice be silenced. Please contact the Prince George's County Council. Ask that PGCTV, the voice of the county, be saved and fully funded. Together, we can make a difference.